kitty kitty. Okay, you want a piece of me? Huh? Is that all you got? Huh?
Our next guest has some more on Ms. Crockett. He's Benny Johnson. He's host of The Benny Show, and he has an exclusive report now on Crockett's alleged background. See, he traveled to where Crockett claims she is from a tough area of South Dallas. You know, you hear her speak. She tries to talk street like, okay. Compared to where she's actually from, it's quite a different picture. Where she's actually from is a beautiful, well-manicured area for the elite and highly educated. Here is a clip from Benny's report.
It is rough, it is tough, it is hood, and it is foul, just like Jasmine Crockett. That's the whole persona. She's a fraud. This is where Jasmine says she's from, but this is where Jasmine's really from.
Welcome to St. Louis, specifically the Republican suburbs of St. Louis, with the mansions, country clubs, and private schools. This is where Jasmine Crockett was raised. We're talking quiet suburbs, manicured lawns, college brochures in the mailbox.
And this is where Jasmine Crockett went to school. It's called the Mary Institute and St. Louis Country Day School. It's one of the most prestigious institutions in the entire country, also one of the most expensive. This is the #1 school in the entire state of Missouri. It costs $35,000 per year to attend high school here. And the reason why is because the average test scores here guarantee your placement in an elite college institution. It's one of the best preparatory schools in the world. Did your high school have its own private Wimbledon? Did your high school have its own aquatic center on site? Did your high school have its own private dock and pond teeming with colorful fish and wildlife? I think not.
OMG.
After graduating from this elite country day school, Jasmine Crockett was immediately accepted at another elite institution, Rhodes College in Tennessee.
Jasmine went on to attend and graduate from the University of Houston Law Center. In total, Jasmine Crockett's elite education cost close to $1 million.
Benny Johnson joins me now. Benny, this is unbelievable. We have another AOC on our hands, and you did the same treatment to her.
Yes. Okay, so here's my question for you, Megyn. Maybe you can help me diagnose this. You're a bit of a doctor on these things. What is with the working class stolen valor with elitist, left-wing, insufferable, narcissistic women? I don't understand it. First, you have Kamala Harris saying she worked the fries, which, of course, everybody at McDonald's will tell you is totally fraudulent. She never proved any of it. And then you have AOC saying she's a girl from the Bronx. That's an absolute bona fide lie. She grew up in a $500,000 house in a leafy suburb north of the city by 90 minutes. A wonderful, very clean, very safe neighborhood. And now you have Jasmine Crockett, who, Megyn, I don't know where you come from, but I can tell you where I come from. Jasmine Crockett grew up so much more elite and wealthy and privileged and pampered than anyone that I know. She's so egalitarian. She's so silver spoon. So the entire thing is an act, and I call it working class stolen valor, Megyn. And I love exposing it. And my only, I guess, takeaway from this is these people must really engage in a lot of self-loathing. I'm no psychiatrist, Megyn, but they must really hate themselves. They must be so embarrassed about where they come from, who they are, who created them. And it really sets in stark contrast the President of the United States, who's never apologized for who he was, who's always owned that he was a billionaire, who's always been aspirational, something to look up to and something people want to become, instead of someone who dumbs themselves down or lies about where they come from to try to be more hood.
Yes, that's what she's doing all the time. And she didn't talk like this before either, where she's like, y'all, I know, my homie, and I'm like, okay, that didn't exist. We ran tape from her Before she ran for office, she sounded like a normal person. But now she's gone full street with the super long nails too, and like the lips and the gloss and like the eyelashes. She's really laying it on because she wants to be seen as like this down-home girl who gets hood.
In my mind, I'm thinking, I just got to Austin and I had to meet 5 people to get here. I don't know about this. So
y'all don't know what white privilege looks like, but I'm gonna show you a little bit of something.
It's a huge responsibility. You know, the congressional seat is over 4 times as large as my House seat.
I'm trying to get clarification.
Look at, calm down. Calm down.
No, because this is what y'all do.
And I was just starting to get into the rhythm of doing constituent services.
They send them to Texas, they send them to Florida. Every deplorable state that we can think about, they usually coming out of y'all's think tank.
There was someone that talked to me and said, in fact, a former ambassador in the Clinton administration.
Please calm down.
Don't tell me to calm down.
Calm down.
Because y'all talk noise and then
You're
can't
out of
take
control.
He said, Jasmine, what you have to realize is that if you are really going to make change, it's not going to be in the Texas House. He said, you did a great job playing defense, but you have a chance to play offense.
If someone on this committee then starts talking about somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body.
Meanwhile, you pointed out, like, her high school looks like a castle, Benny. It looks like the most elitist country club I've ever seen.
Oh, it was. I mean, what we shot there doesn't even do it justice. It's fine. It looks like Oxford. It's an absolute beautiful castle. Also, she went to Rhodes College. Rhodes College, nestled in the rolling hills outside of leafy Memphis, Tennessee, cost $74,000 per year. Megyn, I went to community college and then state school. And I actually literally worked in fast food in order to pay for that. And so I just don't understand it. I don't get why they can't just embrace who they are and where they come from. Why do they have to code switch? It seems like a real psychological crisis, but what I know about the American electorate is that they don't like inauthenticity. They don't like habitual liars and pathological liars. And this is going to be a huge problem for the Democrat Party going forward, the inability to just be authentic with people. Nobody believed Kamala Harris when she said on Drew Barrymore's show, I know you were going off on Drew Barrymore, on Drew Barrymore's show, I did the fries. Nobody believes that, right? And then President Trump comes in what I would argue is one of the greatest campaign moves of all time, and works the fries as a billionaire, rolls up his sleeves, gets salt in his eyes, gets grease on his skin, and hands people Happy Meals, literally and metaphorically. And that was just one of the greatest cell phones of all time. And they're opening themselves up for these kind of attacks, and it's beautiful. The video's done millions of views. And
anything that ends with day school is nicer than 99.9% of what the rest of us did, which was public high school. My parents paid taxes. Yes. They had to take me. Sorry. There's another clip that we pulled from your presentation. You got to watch the Benny Show to see the full thing. Here it is as you take on her district in South Dallas compared to her hometown.
Here's what your average street looks like in South Dallas, where Jasmine Crockett represents.
Best part about Jasmine Crockett's district is free public bathrooms.
And here's what your average street looks like in St. Louis, in the suburbs where Jasmine Crockett's from.
Here's an elementary school in the heart of Jasmine Crockett's district. Let's go ahead and check on the environment in which these kids are learning. You have burned down buildings in every direction. Nothing's open. FDJT has been tagged on this building. Here's the walkway to school in Crockett's district. This is what the children have to walk through every single day.
It's filth.
I don't know how many booze bottles there are, how many beer cans, and how much junk.
And here's what a school looks like in St. Louis. And here's what stores and shopping centers look like in South Dallas. And here's what stores and shopping centers look like in St. Louis. Get the point?
I love the use of the classical music when you go back to the St. Louis area. Quite a disparity.
People that have gone. These are the same people, Megyn, who continue to go off about how they just want you to live your authentic self. They want you to embrace who you are. It's all about everybody just being who they want to be, loving who they want to love, embracing what they truly are. And it's just a lie. They're just so fraudulent. They can't even accept where they come from. And more importantly, when they tell you they're from the struggle, as Jasmine Crockett does, as she code switches to being a hood rat, what she's actually doing is taking advantage of people who are truly struggling, using them for power so that she can get on MSNBC and then run for president and do absolutely nothing. I am in Dallas right now. I'm actually at the airport about to go catch my flight. I'm telling you, we have heartbreaking stories from the people in Jasmine Crockett's district who are truly suffering, who's never seen her. They don't know who she is. They've never met her. She represents them. It's not a terribly large district. And she, according to all available reports, has just abandoned them for an MSNBC green room. And it's, I think it's immoral, actually.
Well, I like what you said about stolen valor. I totally agree with that, because it's like people who did grow up struggling do not need glommers like Crockett and AOC trying to pretend that they understand what it was like to actually worry about whether you're going to be able to put food on the table, which is something AOC claims she understands, and she doesn't. I mean, unless she literally means place the plate on the table, because she did have a waitressing job, as did virtually every young woman in her entire life. But it's true, because look, if you've got $35,000 a year to spend on a day school, you do not understand the plight of working class people, and you should be ashamed of yourself for pretending you do, because they have a certain background and certain struggles that you will never understand, especially if you don't stay in your district and glad hand with them to try to understand them, Benny. According to the New York Post, she's hauled up in her beautiful hotel in D.C. and insisting that her staff drive her around in a, what's the nice one? Not the Chevy Suburban, the nicer one above that. The Escalade. Yeah, everywhere, because she wants to be Madam Queen.
Yeah, Escalade, yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, it actually makes a lot of sense, her entitlement and her elitism. When you read that New York Post article, I'm sitting here in Dallas doing this piece, and when you read that New York Post article, you're like, wow, this is actually where the elitism comes from. Somebody who begins their life with nothing and comes from nothing is going to treat people very nicely. If they're shining shoes at the airport, if they're serving them a bag of fries and a Big Mac, you're going to treat that person with dignity and respect. That's what actual servant leadership looks like, rolling up your sleeves and serving the fries yourself. What elitism and an insane amount of privilege looks like, Megyn, is treating people like garbage who work for you and who are beneath you, at least in your imagination. And I think that Jasmine Crockett is going to find out very, very quickly that there are a lot of people who that's not going to fly with.